In the blistering sands of a secret Afghan outpost, a battle-hardened Navy SEAL clamps his iron grip on a captured spy's throat strap, veins bulging as he bellows, "Who sent you?" Her eyes lock on his, unflinching, hiding a secret that could shatter his world. She's the ghost who trained America's deadliest warriors, and this interrogation is about to flip into an epic showdown of loyalty and lies. Patriots, if you're ready for heart-pounding twists that scream red, white, and blue, dive in. If you love your mom and dad, hit that subscribe button and show some love to her. In the unforgiving glare of the Afghan sun, perched high in the jagged peaks of Paktia province along the volatile Pakistan border, Forward Operating Base Echo Point served as a bastion for elite U.S. forces amid the lingering shadows of endless conflict. It was the summer of 2024, a time when official wars had morphed into covert operations, with Navy SEAL teams like the one led by Lieutenant Commander Jax Harlan executing high-stakes missions to dismantle terrorist cells and secure volatile regions. The base itself was a rugged assembly of defensive structures, concentric rings of HESCO barriers filled with sand and topped with razor wire, clusters of weathered tents and modular containers housing command centers, armories, and living quarters. A compact helipad sat at the edge, ready for Black Hawks to whisk teams in or out under fire, while watchtowers scanned the barren landscape dotted with scrub brush and hidden caves. Life at Echo Point was a relentless cycle, patrols through dust-choked valleys, intelligence briefings in dimly lit ops rooms, sparse meals from the chow hall or foil-wrapped MREs, and the constant thrum of generators powering radios and surveillance drones. Downtime was rare, filled with maintenance on gear, letters home via encrypted satlinks, or quiet reflections on the toll of deployment. Jax Harlan embodied the SEAL ethos, 6'3" of solid muscle, with close-cropped light brown hair streaked by sun, piercing blue eyes that missed nothing, and a jawline that spoke of unyielding resolve. His tactical vest bulged with magazines, a radio antenna jutting from his shoulder, and an American flag patch worn with quiet pride. Under his command were trusted operators like Petty Officer Miguel Ramirez, a sharp-eyed Texan with a quick wit and unerring aim, his Latino heritage evident in the occasional Spanish curse during ops, and Chief Petty Officer Derek Ellis, the grizzled veteran with a network of scars from IED blasts and close calls, his demeanor calm but his history haunted by losses. The intrusion came under a moonless sky, alarms piercing the night like a siren's wail. Perimeter sensors, a web of motion detectors and thermal cameras, had picked up a ghost, a figure slipping through the outer wire with surgical precision, disabling a camera feed without a trace. Jax's team mobilized in seconds, hearts pounding as they fanned out in the dry wadi beyond the barriers, NVGs turning the world green and grainy. They cornered the intruder against a boulder, a woman in full desert multicam, her movements fluid and professional, no amateur stumble. Zip ties secured her wrists, a hood over her head, and they hauled her back to the interrogation tent, a Spartan canvas enclosure with plywood walls adorned by topographic maps marked with red pins for enemy hotspots, a scarred metal table, folding chairs, and a single bulb swinging overhead, casting elongated shadows that danced with the wind-flapped fabric. Ramirez stood to the left, arms folded over his plate carrier, his serious face betraying a flicker of curiosity. Ellis positioned to the right, M4 rifle slung low, his expression inscrutable as he monitored the entrance for any follow-on threats. Jax yanked the hood free, revealing Elena "Ghost" Vargas, mid-30s, with dark brown hair pulled into a severe ponytail, stray wisps framing a face of sharp angles and unyielding brown eyes that held depths of experience. Her physique was lean and powerful, shoulders broad from years of PT, her uniform smeared with the fine Afghan dust that infiltrated everything. Bound to the chair with rough hemp rope that chafed her wrists, she sat straight-backed, no sign of defeat. Jax looped a spare length of rope around her neck as a crude throat strap, an intimidation tactic straight from SEER school manuals, and pulled it taut, her head snapping back slightly as air constricted. "Who sent you?" he demanded, his voice a gravelly thunder, teeth bared in controlled fury, veins throbbing in his neck and forearms. The pressure made her gasp, throat working against the coarse fibers, but Elena's eyes remained locked on his, a spark of recognition buried beneath the pain. Panic? That was for the untrained. Her thoughts spiraled back to Naval Amphibious Base Coronado, the crucible where she'd forged warriors. As one of the first women to infiltrate the male-dominated world of SEAL training, initially in support roles before earning her stripes as a full instructor in survival and resistance techniques, Elena had revolutionized BUD/S. Her regime was infamous: Phase 1's basic conditioning with timed 4-mile beach runs in soft sand, boat crews hauling 200-pound IBS inflatables overhead, and the dreaded log PT where teams synchronized under crushing weight. Hell Week alone, 5.5 days of continuous ops with only 4 hours of sleep, saw her overseeing surf torture, where candidates linked arms in freezing waves, hypothermia gnawing at resolve. She'd push them with psychological barbs, simulating enemy interrogations to build mental armor. "Pain is your teacher," she'd bark, her voice cutting through exhaustion. Half the operational SEALs today carried her lessons in their bones, including Jax from Class 248, the one she'd personally hauled from the brink during a midnight swim evolution. "You don't remember me, do you, Harlan?" she managed, voice strained but steady as the rope bit deeper. Jax's grip slackened imperceptibly, confusion flickering in his blue eyes like a glitch in a scope. How did this captive know his name? "What game are you playing?" he snarled, leaning in, his breath hot and laced with the scent of gun oil and sweat. Ramirez tensed, fingers brushing his sidearm holster. Ellis swept the tent with his gaze, ever vigilant. Elena twisted minutely, creating slack to breathe. BUD/S Class 248. Hell Week, Day 4. You were hypothermic, ready to ring that brass bell. "I dragged you back into the surf," said, "SEALs don't quit, they adapt." Sound familiar? The words detonated in Jax's mind like a breaching charge. Flashbacks assaulted him, the Pacific's icy grip, waves slamming like artillery, his body screaming surrender. And her, Ghost, the relentless instructor who'd vanished post-tour, whispers of her going deep undercover in Spec Ops intel. Legend spoke of her evading capture in hostile territories, training Allied forces in secret. But here? Tied like a threat. Lies, Jax spat, retightening the strap, her face reddening. The tense air thickened, the distant drone hum outside a reminder of their isolation. Echo Point was miles from reinforcement, a lone outpost in a sea of potential ambushes. Elena's lips quirked in a ghost of a smile, pain etching lines around her eyes. "Admiral Jonathan Kane sent me. Naval Special Warfare Command. This is a Red Team audit, testing your security after those intel leaks last month that got Delta Team ambushed in Kandahar." The claim hung heavy. Leaks had indeed plagued operations, coordinates sold to the highest bidder, costing lives. Jax's mind raced. Protocol was to verify via secure channels, but doubt gnawed. "Prove it," he growled. Ramirez murmured, "Boss, we should radio command." Ellis nodded subtly. But before Jax could decide, a muffled boom echoed, mortar fire slamming the perimeter, ground shaking as alarms wailed. "Incoming!" Ellis shouted, rifle up. Chaos ignited. Jax released the strap, shoving Elena to the floor for cover as he snatched his carbine. "Secure the prisoner." Ramirez covered the flap, peeking out into the night lit by flares. Gunfire cracked, tracers arcing like deadly fireworks. Elena, still bound at the wrists, rolled to a knee. "Untie me, you fools, I'm on your side." Jax hesitated a heartbeat, then sliced the ropes with his K-bar. "Betray us, and it's over." Freed, Elena scooped a Beretta from the table, checking the chamber with practiced ease. They burst from the tent into hell, militants swarming the wire, AKs chattering, RPG streaking. Elena seamlessly integrated, her commands sharp. Ramirez, suppressed that ridgeline. Ellis, flank right, use the boulders for cover. The SEALs moved as one, her voice unlocking drilled instincts from training days. Twist 1 unfolded amid the fray, a captured radio from a downed attacker crackled with coordinates, their exact positions leaked. This wasn't random, it was targeted betrayal from within. As they repelled the wave, falling back to a bunker, Elena revealed more. Her audit was facade, Kane had intel of a mole at Echo Point, funneling data to a Taliban splinter group allied with rogue Pakistani elements. She'd infiltrated to draw them out. Flashbacks enriched her tale, Elena's origins in a San Diego military family, father a Vietnam vet, her enlistment driven by a need to prove women could excel in combat roles. She'd faced sexism, hazing, but rose through SEER instructor certification, mentoring the first wave of female integrators in SWCC and SEAL support. Now, in Black Ops, she hunted internal threats, her ghost status a shield. Adrenaline fueled a budding tension between Jax and Elena, shared glances amid bullets, his respect morphing into something deeper. She saved him from a sniper, taking a graze to her arm, blood soaking her sleeve. "You owe me one, Harlan," she quipped, returning fire. Deeper into the night, Twist 2, interrogating a wounded militant under duress, they learned the mole had anticipated her arrival, turning the audit into a trap. The base's systems showed tampering, comms logs altered. Suspicion fell on the team, who had access. As dawn neared, Twist 3, Ellis, the steadfast chief, cracked under pressure, drawing a concealed Glock. "You should have stayed buried, Ghost." His motive tumbled out, brother killed in a botched raid years ago, Navy cover-up, his turn to greed and vengeance selling secrets for a payday and payback. A savage close-quarters brawl ensued, Elena disarming him with a judo throw she'd taught in training, Jax pinning him. Ramirez, loyal, secured the perimeter despite a leg wound. With Ellis cuffed, they rallied remaining forces, Elena orchestrating a counteroffensive using terrain knowledge from satellite maps and her simulations. Explosives along choke points, drone-guided strikes, ambushes in wadis, they turned the tide. Evac birds thundered in as the sun rose, extracting the team. Back-stateside investigations, fueled by Elena's hidden drive of evidence, unraveled a web, Ellis linked to corrupt contractors profiting from prolonged conflict, high-level brass implicated. Arrests followed, reforms swept NSW. Jax, scarred but wiser, found a note from Elena, "Train them harder. Shadows never sleep." She vanished into legend once more. Let me know in the comments, from which part of the country you're watching this video. 56 Expert.